Right, let's see here. I'm going to go through some of these posts by Roadrunner. I'm just going to give my answers as best I can as I go through. This is about morality, of course. So just to be clear, are you saying one action or behaviour is no more or less moral than another? No, I'm saying it depends on who you're asking. Everyone's got a different opinion. That contradictory statements can be both moral and immoral, depending on the subject. Contradictory statements. If one group decided it was moral to kill atheists, then subjectively it would be moral. If it was their opinion that it was moral to kill atheists, then yes, subjectively it would be their opinion. That's what an opinion is. Yep. You asked for the definition of right and wrong. I find it difficult to believe you do not know what these words mean. I do know what they mean in general, very, very vaguely, but I do know that no one agrees exactly on what is right and what is wrong. That's the whole point. If people disagree, it's not objective, it's subjective. Even if they agree most of the time, or about lots of things, there's a big overlap. An overlap is not the same as objective. Objective is, it's the same no matter what. Like, for example, mass, length, speed. You have a particular way of measuring it, and if you measure it according to that procedure, you get a certain answer, and everyone will get that answer. Everyone will get the same answer. You ask someone whether they think something's right or wrong, good or bad, evil, immoral, whatever, you're not always going to get the same answer. So no, it's not the same. It's not objective. One may also substitute the words good and evil, or the way one ought to behave. Again, ought to behave. Ought according to who? Everyone's got a different opinion on how you ought to behave. That's a should. It's a responsibility, and who's setting the standard? What I'm saying is we all set our own standards and we try and agree between us, a decent middle ground. I have a feeling you're wandering into the epistemology of morality and how we know what is right and wrong. No, I'm not. I'm saying that everyone's got slightly different ideas, everyone's got different opinions. You ask for precise definitions, then deny they exist. No, they don't objectively exist, because to say something's objectively right or wrong means that everyone would say it's right or everyone would say it was wrong. If you give a certain way of measuring right and wrong, then everyone would agree, and everyone doesn't agree. There's no way of saying what's right and wrong so that everyone would always agree. The only way you can do that is if you write down a very specific, arbitrary set of rules which says what is right and what is wrong, but then whoever's written those rules down have just solidified their own subjective morality and just called it objective morality and goes, right, everyone's living by my morality now. But it's useless, because still other people won't agree with it. It's of no practical use. We measure mass, length, speed, everything. They're useful things to have. Someone else could say, well, I'm not measuring it like that. I'm going to measure it a different way, or I'm going to have a different opinion about it. That's fine, but it's not any use. In the same way as someone just saying, well, this is what's moral and this is what isn't. It's of no use if people don't agree with it. It's of no practical use. You want to measure morality as you would mass. Well, yeah, if it's objective, you should be able to measure it so that it's not user-dependent. This, however, is a category mistake. Morality is not a physical object. No, well, mass isn't a physical object either. It's a measurement of physical objects. And morality is just an abstract judgment. It's the difference is between a measurement and a judgment. You can measure things to do with reality, or you can judge things, and judgments are a matter of opinion, so they're not objective. Similarly, you can provide a precise numerical value to your logic, which I can reproduce for your thinking here. Well, yes, I could do it in a certain way. Is logic objective? Well, if we all agree on the rules of logic and how it works, then that particular system is objective, yeah. Are you free to subjectively determine you're being illogical? Well, you could have the opinion on wrong or whatever. You could make your own system and then put what I've said into a different system. But again, what's the point of doing that? It doesn't make any sense. If we agree on how a logical system works, there's no subjectivity about it. You said you care very much about morality and also what's right, but also say right and wrong do not exist. Yeah, objectively right and wrong don't exist. So I'm left wondering how you define morality. Morality is a judgment. It's a judgment of what is right and what is wrong. And it depends what your goal is, what's important to you. To me, like I said, it's the well-being of humans and animals. So I think, how can I best achieve that? What can I do that's best? So it's not arbitrary, I'm making it up. I know that cutting someone's head off is harmful to them. Whereas like helping them do something is a good thing to do. So it's based on logic, based on my goals. And this is what I was trying to agree. Is this your goal as well? I don't know what the goal of your morality is. For all I know, your morality is to please God or whatever. And if that's the case, we're not talking about the same thing at all. That's what I'm trying to avoid. However, this doesn't define unless you're pressing your own subjective definition on everyone else. No, I'm not. I'm saying it's a matter of opinion. That's what I'm trying to say. Making the word morality meaningless, or that everyone is free to make it mean whatever they want. Everyone's free to have their own opinion, yeah? Just like everyone's free to have their own opinion about what's their favourite colour. You don't go around saying, well, everyone's got to agree on what their favourite colour is, or else it's meaningless and you can't have a favourite colour. With what you said so far, you cannot accuse others of doing wrong. Yep, I can do what I like. I can accuse them of being wrong. I can say, in my opinion, what you're doing is wrong. I can say to someone, do you care about well-being of people? And if they say yes, I can say, well, you're punching them in the face. That's not good for well-being, is it? They go, no, you're right, okay. But if they're punching them in the face, they obviously don't care about well-being, or they don't care about that person's well-being. So me just telling them that they're wrong doesn't achieve anything, does it? I've got to explain to them why and try and win them round to my point of view. Just announcing that it's wrong and it's not a matter of opinion. They're just going to keep on punching them in the face. It's not going to achieve anything. Cannot complain about the problem of evil. Well, everyone views evil in a different way, but there's suffering in the world. So to me, suffering is bad. From my point of view, it's something we don't enjoy. In fact, worse than don't enjoy, it's horrible. And it's going on clearly all around. Suffering's going on. So most people who care about well-being would say suffering is a bad thing. Say not everyone. Everyone's got their own opinion. But most people, it's not a coincidence that we all tend to agree. It's part of evolution. But the thing is, if you don't think evolution's a real thing, then that's not going to mean anything to you. But there are scientific explanations. It's just a matter of whether you're interested in learning them or not. Cannot place blame or accept praise. Of course I can. I can do what I want. Because the thing is, we agree on things. I say to someone, do you agree that the goal is, to look after the well-being of humans? If they say yes, and then they go punch someone in the face, I can say, well, I blame you for that. You said you care about well-being, and you punched them in the face. You're not living up to your own morals. The fact that we might not have agreed is irrelevant at that point, because we do agree. If someone doesn't agree, then I can still point at them and say, I blame you, or whatever. But it's of no practical use. I need to discuss with them. It's not just a matter of judging people and expecting them to just change. Claim anything is unjust or unfair. Well, again, once we've agreed certain things, we can agree between us what's fair and what isn't. Cannot improve your morality. Yeah, I can. I can improve morality from my point of view. I can do a better job of looking after the well-being of others. Hold any meaningful discussion concerning morality. Well, I'm doing that right now. I think there's a fundamental problem with what objective is. Some people use objective in very strange ways. Objective means it doesn't make any difference who you ask. If they approach this problem and come up with an answer, they will get the same answer. If you give someone a bit of wood and a ruler and they measure it correctly, they will get the same answer. Okay, it's not a matter of opinion. Someone could say, well, I think it's 200 metres long. You go, right, well, okay, but you haven't used the method of measuring that we've got there. If you'd have measured it, you'd have found out it's 1 metre long, like everyone else. If instead I said, do you like that piece of wood? Is it good? Does it make you feel happy? Everyone's going to give a different answer, aren't they? Some people might make them feel happy, might not make them feel happy. See, that's a judgment. That's not a measurement. So I think there's a major misunderstanding about what objective means. You say yourself, people mostly disagree with things. Well, mostly agreeing is not objective. That's a trend. And it's not surprising there are trends in morality. It's not just random, because we all evolved as a cooperative species. And again, if you don't believe that, then you're throwing out the actual explanation. Right, I'll carry on in a minute.